Right, hi everyone. This video really is about to do with my, well, let's say insecurities to do with role playing, GMing. I've GM'd on and off since the Black box set back in the early 90s. But it's been sporadic. It's only been now and then, I'll run a few games, get to level 3. That's it. And it was, used to be just with a mate, maybe one or two others now and then. The last few years, in some ways it has been great. It's, I've got a fresh group that's been running properly and solidly for a year. We did have, previously... we did try and it didn't quite work out. This version of the group is pretty much working out. Okay, we do have problems with the low player count, but I'm sure that's being sorted. Got a female player coming in soon, hopefully, and hopefully just fill the gaps that we need. But for me, to do with GMing itself, it's not just, when new players come in, you think, well, hang on a bit, you do worry about what they're going to be like, and, all those worries creep in, and for me, I do feel I am too hard on myself at times, definitely. The things that I find difficult with it all, when it comes to running a game, I feel like I do a decent job overall, definitely. But as Sean Connor said, because I've actually not too long ago spoke to him on the phone, and with the D20 system, especially Pathfinder, the rules really do bog you down. There's a lot of rules and stuff, and it's not the easiest game to GM, and I fully agree with him there, definitely. And for me, it's being able to put together a consistent game every 2 weeks and get that from level 1, the characters to level 20. It's not as if I hadn't come up with a plot. As people who's been watching might know a little bit to do with the game that I've been currently running. And for a change, I put them on a ship that's been overrun with pirates. They met a character that ended up being called Justice. That's because they killed the cook because of what he did to someone, which was pretty terrible, rape, and his person was pretty young, so he had his basically his balls chopped off. And a note saying reasons why this was done. So this is a mysterious character that now and then leaves notes. So I've got a good background actually for that character. That was okay. There was a pirates tried to take over the ship, and that I actually at the start of that actually gave Jess a map. Also, there is a parrot that gets very jealous if anyone goes near Jess's character as well. So that sort of parrot is a bit of a comic relief. And overall, I do feel, the game has been going well, but I've now come to a point where I'm thinking, because, I haven't got the experience with consistency with a game, coming on a game. I got experience running games in a way. If it's, a dungeon setting or a medieval setting, fine, that's okay. Anywhere beyond that, I really am green, really inexperienced. But with that, I'm okay. With the medieval type role playing, I'm okay with. I'm now at a point where they've come upon on a quest where they find out this village called actually it's a town called Vandersley vanished overnight. It was shown as far as the sailor went to where this place was. Okay, and he gave the directions, told about this mad old hermit as well. Ended up where the populace of this place were all turned into wolves. So the wolves round the town, not village, town, was the village, the townspeople. Keep calling it village, but it is actual town. And the thing that happened was, and it was all linked to the mayor, and this amulet that was, buried where this the church was, quite deep, in the crypt, and that was a legendary clerical hero buried and revered by the local populace. But the mayor ended up getting someone which was the Mad Hermit, to steal the amulet. And he wore it, and they basically got cursed in a way, because what would happen was the amulet was keeping this force, this creature that was defeated, which was I called Morgoth the Destroyer, that was keeping it, or its essence, inside the body of this priest. And it was a no-win situation in certain circumstances, because sooner or later this thing had to end up being released. In my mind, that had to happen. And yet they replaced got the amulet replaced, which ended up inadvertently releasing this creature, which all they know is it came out as billowing smoke and stuff, and there were shadow creatures there as well. You're also given a dagger that would help to defeat some of these shadows, and then the priest Vandersley appeared. Gave him a bit of background about what had happened and that, and he just said, look, this was meant to happen, and set on a quest of actually trying to retrieve what would be, and this is a little bit Harry Potterish, but doesn't matter, the creature's ashes, which is in vials or something, and this is basically as far as I've got, and it's an interesting actual campaign. Okay, the mayor was the leader. He ended up being stripped bare naked, an apple in the mouth, and he got shot. He got killed. The hermit was the one who took the amulet. That was replaced. He's under the care of the priesthood at the moment. And this is where I've got stuck. I know I've got to get right background for the Morgoth the Destroyer, and then I've got to build things beyond that. I was able to get them to about level 4, which ain't bad under the standard experience in the Pathfinder. And it hasn't been so smooth sailing with it, because so much rules and that to learn. But I felt I did do okay. I really do feel I did okay, but I just feel that I just don't know what to do with progressing it forward to do with this. There's a treasure map that they can look at any time and retrieve some treasure from there. There are a number of these things, ashes things, they need to recover. They also know there is a cult related to these ashes, and I think there's more than one cult as well. So a bit of a battle between the two. So it's really quite interesting. Also got them to rebuild the town. They're rebuilding the town now. They replaced this with a raven-haired woman. The Council of Canis has been set up. 3 people in the council. And then things got a bit slow the last few games where, they were rebuilding, trying to, reforge things for this town and stuff. There's a big rebuilding going on and stuff, and we've got a limited budget as well. So that's all well and good. But for me, not having the experience of being having a consistently run game, for me now, I find it a bit difficult, and I'm really hot, so sorry about this if I look really red. I'm just finding it difficult at the moment. I know at some point I will hopefully, be able to sit down, write a bit of background to do with Morgus the Destroyer, and maybe make things interesting. There is actually a goblin, they've got to deal with goblins as well, which have been whittled down a little bit, but there's still a problem. There's still they to deal with. And they do know they've got to deal with the spider as well, because there was a spider idol there. So that they've got to deal with all that. But I'm just a little bit stuck with things at the moment. And this is the thing, I do lack confidence within myself. Sometimes I'm second guessing myself, or dwelling on things too much, with the game that has just gone, and thinking, well, maybe I could have been softer there, or a little bit harsher with things. It's getting the balancing right as well, and with different players, different personalities as well. Sometimes that's not easy doing that. But hopefully over time I can build things up and I'll be okay. But it also didn't help what happened the last year with the problem player, all that stuff, stuff I've had in the past with my gaming, which really did undermine my confidence. And now sometimes I feel like I'm walking on a tightrope or walking on eggshells, and that's a problem for me. I'm sure if you ask the players in my game what they think of my GMing, they think, yeah, he is a pretty good GM, but I'd like to keep things ongoing. I want a believable world, a world that's alive. But sometimes I just find that difficult, and that can be a little bit of a problem at the moment. But I'm gonna be shaking when I get back to the Pathfinder game. I will be shaking things up a bit, to be honest. So hopefully, the next game when I do eventually get behind the GM screen and play Pathfinder, things will be a little bit more interesting more than humdrum. I'm actually, that's the thing that would really increase my confidence as well, would be to do with the 5th edition starter set. I'll be running that possibly in August, September. Oh no, actually I'll be starting to run something in July. Then Jess will be running her Doctor Who, and then I'll be running in a session or two time, depending if Jess needs extra time. So that's the plan there, and I think that would help, actually, just running some pre-printed adventures that have already been written out, because it's having to come up with stuff that is interesting and relevant, the things that that would make the players interested and fun for the group. It ain't always easy to do. Thing is, it's a lot of effort when it comes to creating the adventures and stuff like that. And sometimes GMs could make it look so easy, but sometimes it's not. It really ain't so easy to do. So one of the things that I would need to do is stop being so hard on myself. Try not to dwell on the things that have happened in the past. Things that's gone. The person that I had the main problems with is gone from the group. And I don't think I'll ever have a player as bad as that again within the group. I surely can't be that unlucky, can I? So, and then stop dwelling on that, and actually just enjoy things more. Think more positive about my GMing, and just look forward to things more. Because sometimes some games, it's not dreading it. It's just I feel a bit. Sometimes awkward, like a bit nervous, and sometimes I feel like, well, I don't really want to do it, even though I do, if you know what I mean. So yeah, hopefully, I'll be able to get myself into the levels of confidence, like the Gentleman Gamer, like Sean Connors, and that was one of the things I should have done, and I wish I did it. And I said it before, I had a Dungeon Crawl Classics adventure written out. It wasn't and there we go again, I'm doing it to myself again. To me, I don't think it was absolutely awesome, with the writing and that. I think it would have been a fun adventure to put people through. It's a one-off that has been written out. It's still ready to go. And mind you, I could do this through Google Hangouts. Maybe when it's a bit cooler, I may actually run a Dungeon Crawl Classics over the internet and see if that help with the confidence, confidence issues that I've got. And that might be a good idea, to be honest. But yeah, it's nothing, when I'm looking at this and what I've been talking about, it's nothing actually really, really serious, but it's just a shame that I'm in a position where my confidence isn't as it should be, and I'm not 100% confident in my own abilities to be able to keep things going, keep the game going, and come up with things, come up with the adventures and run them. I'm not quite at that stage yet. As you've heard with what I've done, some really interesting ideas with my game, and also just because the return to rules don't always think that that's going to be completely related to the werewolf thing. It may not be, it may be. I know Gary does watch some of my bits, so but yeah. yeah, hopefully, you know, I'll be able to, you know, be a much more confident role player. And there is the Dragon Meet in December, and maybe I should really consider running a game there, either the Dungeon Crawl Classics or D&D 5th edition, or maybe I could try myself and jump in the deep end and try something completely different. But yeah, it'd be interesting. But I'm looking forward to see what the future may bring. Okay, I've been on rambling along for long enough, really. Thanks for watching. Sorry that I'm quite red. I look like a bloody lobster, honestly. Look at that. I'm sweating, so I'm just gonna, you know, get a drink, a cool drink, and just relax. And I'll catch you soon, and till next time. Thanks for watching.